Hannah Kessler.
This gal started her own bank at the age of 18, and then you became a self-made millionaire by the age of 24?
I did.
Hannah Kessler is a money mentor.
She's known as the single millionaire chick.
With advice on how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Money starts with your mindset.
How you think about your money is going to greatly impact how much money that you have.
I grew up in a town called Olathe, Kansas. I'd be walking out of the door, going to school, and my mama would holler at me, "Hannah, make good choices." And I'd have to holler back, "Because the choices I make today will affect my future."
My parents, they did a very good job about teaching me as a child how to handle my money. We have a lack of understanding when it comes to money.
If you want your kids to have money, you need to start talking to them about it while they're young.
I'm really second generation to this concept that's called the infinite banking concept.
And at 18 years old, my dad gave me the choice to start my own bank that then led me to becoming a millionaire by the time I was 24.
Now you've written a book to help tie it all together.
So the companion is really just teaching kids that, not specifically money, but really important life lessons.
Now being the owner of the Money Multiplier, I help serve over 17,000 clients in every state of the country.
Where can people get the book?
HannahKessler.com. Hannah spelled the same way forwards and backwards, Kessler with one S.
Also, I got my podcast show, the Money Multiplier Podcast.
And make good choices today, because the choices you make today will affect your future. Good morning, my friends. How are we doing? And for my people watching on Instagram, Rachel, you see there, show your face.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
So, y'all, I am here with Rachael Katz today. A lot of y'all know Rachel. You just spoke on Chris Nagel's platform. He had a webinar last weekend, right?
Yes, I think it actually was at the end of January. So.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
The first virtual event. Mm-hmm.
Ditto, because he didn't invite me back. Chris Nagel, if you are watching right now, why didn't we get invited back? I spoke on your January one too, but you didn't invite me back for the second one. Whatever, loser. So, good morning, y'all. So, anyways, Rachel and I, we work closely together. If y'all tuned in last week, we talked about her. Okay, I know, Lord, if you're chiming in here today, I know we got some people hopping on. Lord, you were asking me, hey, I spoke with Rachel and what's the reason there, because I see when I go to the infinitebanking.org website that Rachel isn't listed as a practitioner like you are, Hannah, or you are Brent Kessler, or you, Chris, right? But you're a student and becoming an IBC practitioner. So just real quick, can you... I did share your story last week, so you don't have to get so deep into it, but how did you get involved in the infinite banking concept?
So I actually was introduced to the infinite banking concept by Brent in Dallas, Texas back in 2018. And I didn't act then, but I met with them again in 2019 here with you in Florida, and was able to really fully understand why this tool is so powerful and why I needed to have it in my own life. So I started my first 2 policies with you guys.
Why was the tool powerful?
Because it was going to help me protect the income that I had. More importantly, give me the control and the freedom to use the money that I was earning for the things that I needed to do, which was like debt payoff, saving for my children, for the things that they need.
You have 2 boys.
I have 2 boys. Being a single mom for most of my children's young lives, I had to do a lot of sacrifice and a lot of things. And this was, I think, the saving grace for me to be able to start building a very strong financial future. Yep. So I'm very grateful to the Kesslers.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
I did that for me. I did that for my ego. Thank you.
No, with all honesty, like I've been now practicing this since 2019. That was with my boys. I have my own policy now for almost a year. And now I'm out here really talking about it and sharing it because it changed my life. And And I believe that, if anyone has this in their financial picture, it will change their lives as well.
Straight up. And hopefully I can be like that walking proof for it, if you will, just with what I've done in my life. Little update, y'all. M. Lerman, if you're chiming in, good morning, sir. I have a real estate mentor. I've always had like real estate mentors, like my dad, Chris, I have a business coach. But really I have a gentleman. He is amazing. And actually I'm buying 2 condos up in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I think I maybe briefly mentioned that last week, but so if anybody wants to live there, wants to move there, holler at your girl. But the main reason that we're here talking today, okay, because your expertise really comes from the business background, business foundation. We're like myself, I got into this whole world of business and entrepreneurship, really being a waitress. That's where I found my entrepreneurial spirit, if you will, right? Because you kept all your own tips. You determined how quickly you flipped the tables, how well you took care of the guests. Oh my gosh, before we get into it though, we went to Top of Daytona. It's a restaurant. Okay. I want to say it's like 26 store. It's literally, I can see it right now. It's right over there. We're sitting at the dining room table today, but we were there and we saw the rocket launch yesterday. Maybe I'll pull up a picture. Okay. I'm going to show y'all. But to get back, why I'm bringing this up is because service is so important. Okay. Yeah, the food was great. How was the service?
I would say subpar.
For a $200 meal for 2 people, like, come on, y'all, So here's one thing, actually, my mentor has taught me that I just remembered yesterday when I was sitting on his webinar weekly masterclass. You know how restaurants are Michelin stars and why they get the Michelin star? So for my business owners, because they have great quality and they're consistent. And that's what you want to deliver. And hopefully, you and I, that's what we've proven and shown to our clients all across the United States and even Canada, because, hey, we can help folks in Canada too with the infinite banking concept. But hopefully we've shown them that it's high quality and it's consistent.
That's it.
So,
and we're accessible.
Yep, and accessible. Sometimes too accessible.
Yeah, that's to a fault.
To our own fault. All right, y'all. So, hey, real quick, Miss Annette, good morning to you. Hey, top of the morning to y'all. Are your ears ringing? Sharing with Alfred and grateful for you being in our lives. Yay, blessings. Good morning. Thank you. Rachel says, thank you for your email regarding the change in student loans. Oh, good. Yep. So, okay, that's some of our topics we're going to get into today. Now, I also, this was you though, that wants to talk about this as well, because, hey, good morning, April. Now we're here on April 2nd. Tax season.
Right around the corner.
Yep. So money is changing faster than ever before. Debt is at all-time highs. I know you are deep into the world of crypto and tokenization and digital currencies, and that's continuing to enter into the conversation because, y'all, that's not my expertise. I mean, I want to learn. I put money into crypto. I lose my ass every time I put it into crypto. How I think about crypto right now, and this is just my mindset because I don't know. I haven't done my own studying and due diligence, but like, I put money into crypto. I look at it as gambling and I'm like, okay, if I lose this money, are you okay to lose this money?
Yes. I think that's a very smart position to be in, especially this is a new world that most people are not familiar with. And it can be scary and risky. Yep. So I guess it depends on how risk adverse or not adverse you are.
Yeah. Risk takers. But to some point we do have to be adventurers.
Sure.
And seek truthers, if you will.
Well, and I think that's what we're realizing here in the crypto world. Everyone's talking about it, but who's legit? I mean, I actually heard of a company that's doing those network marketing, crypto raising things, and it got shut down, right? So people lost money there. Yeah. And that's not where I want to be.
No. No. Hey, Josh, to your comment here, hold on. I'll read it for all my podcast video listeners, but let me get this picture pulled up for a second. All photos. We are deep in our photos right now. I'm bringing up the rocket
There you
launch, y'all. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen. Josh is saying, good morning, Hannah and Rachel. It's funny that you talk about the rocket launch since that's the analogy you always use for IBC policies. So share screen. Oh, it won't let me show it. Well, yeah, we can try. Okay, let's just try. It's going to share my entire screen for a second. Hold on. But I literally texted in our group chat, stop sharing, whatever. It's not going to work, y'all. But anyways, I shared in our group chat with Chris Noggle and all the money mentors. I took a picture and I sent it because Craig Yenny, shout out Mr. Craig Yenny, and shout out Michael Samet. Michael Samet's our asset-based long-term care expert here. Craig Yenny's we call him Mr. Spreadsheets. Math people, you'll love Yenny. But I texted in the group chat and I said, so do you think the booster rockets have fallen off already? Hee, dad joke. So Josh, I feel you, man. All right. Hey, so where do you want to take this conversation? So taxes, we're in tax season right now. What should people know? What should people be thinking about? Talk to me.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think the biggest thing in tax season is making sure you have the right professional for what you need. Accountants, CPAs, bookkeepers, these are all people in the business and personal world of helping us pay minimal taxes, right? So I guess having the right person on your team that's out there making sure that you're taking advantage of all of the options for tax minimization.
Yep.
Right. I know I talk to people a lot of time and I ask them, so who are you using as a CPA? And they're saying, H&R Block or some of these online filing services. I wouldn't trust them, to be honest. Maybe you have a simple filing, that's fine, but I would always get advice from a CPA, someone who's there to actually help guide and make sure you're making all the right choices.
But how do I know if my CPA is good? Because Rachel, as you know my story, I had one tax person that I'm not going to get into that whole story, but that ended up bad and not good for me. And they weren't there for me when I needed them. And then I had another person that I went to and I just straight up told her, I was like, I just need help. Like, I don't know this world. Here's the money that I'm making. I want to keep the money that I'm making. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? And she was treating me more like a number than a client. Like, why does it take you 2 months to reply to an email? And I had to follow up 4 times. So now I got one guy, which I like him. I like him a lot. And now I even have this other guy that I may start doing some stuff with for tax strategies. But how can I avoid going down this whole rabbit hole of like, and maybe you can never, like, how can I avoid kissing the frogs to find the right frog to kiss?
Well, think about with anything, you're going to do your research. You're going to do your due diligence. You need to talk. Honestly, getting referrals from people that you trust, right? We're in a financial world, an industry that there's a lot of different professionals out there who we can ask questions for, get referrals to. And I think that's the biggest thing is once you find someone who is doing you right, like we have a couple people on our team.
Yeah.
So
that we can turn you on to.
That we use personally. And that's through kissing a lot of frogs. I've been filing taxes for quite a long time and I'm sure I made some mistakes along the way, but just like anything, guys, if you are looking for a service, are you not going to do your research? Are you not going to look at Google reviews? Are you not going to ask, right? I would line up 3 or 4 different CPAs and ask them specific questions, right? Give them your scenario. What would you do?
And that comes, I think, with age and wisdom too, because me being a naive girl over here, I've learned, because I'm a recovering people pleaser, that I will just take your word for it. Which is not good. Go look at the Google reviews. Go see what other people are saying about that person. Ask for referrals. I've had actually clients literally ask me, hey, can I talk to some of the people that you work with about infinite banking and like working with you guys? I'm like, sure. And I asked the client first, hey, is it okay if I give them your phone number? You love to talk. It seems like you guys would vibe. And just ask who they're working with. Oh, and then also another question I've been asking too is I literally ask them, hey, have you ever been through an audit? Not you specifically, but have you had a client that has gone through an audit before? I kind of asked that question too. That's something, I don't know, my mama has been asking that question because they're in the same boat, like looking for new people.
And that's the thing, unfortunately, we don't know the right questions to ask until we're in an experience that makes us ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why, again, due diligence, comparing. Most of these companies will give you a free consultation if you're willing to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like attorneys. Attorneys actually charge for their consultation. I'm learning.
Yes. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But CPAs, accountants,
Most of the time.
bookkeepers, people like that, they will definitely want your business because there's a lot of people to choose from. But the good ones is what we want to look for.
So, hey, so what we're saying is that it is the start of tax season. If you send me an email, Hannah spelled the same ways forwards and backwards, Hannah@themoneymultiplier.com, I'll send you my person that I do my business with, my taxes with, my siblings use for taxes. And we can get you to the right place. I know somebody just last week, Wesley on our implementation team, contacted one of our clients with me and said, hey, Hannah, do you have a CPA for this person? They want to, go down that rabbit hole. So I said, sure. But okay, so tax season is here. What else? What else is on your mind about taxes at this moment in time?
Just that we have to file them soon. Business taxes were already filed in March for those who know, for S corporations, et cetera. But now it's personal. I think the biggest thing is, what tax bracket are you in?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How do you break that down? How do you know for sure?
Yep. Which, let me share my screen. Let's see if this one pops up. Okay. If I minimize this, I want to share this picture, like this email with y'all. So can you guys see this? I think you can. Hold on. Yeah, I think you can. Okay, I'm going to make this big. So here is our 2025 tax rates, okay? To give y'all a visual. What are the rates and brackets for the tax year of 2025? 2025 marginal tax rates. Okay, we got our single filer, which would essentially, this is me, married, filing jointly.
Yep.
Head of household. If I'm ignorant, what does head of household mean?
Head of household can be a parent with children.
Okay.
Minors in the household. So a single parent. I was head of household for pretty much most of my kids' younger years. So you get a little bit more tax break.
Why do married file separately versus married file jointly? What's the difference and why?
So there's a few different things. One, when you're married filing jointly, it could be better tax breaks for you. Sometimes married filing separately is better tax brackets. Or we have a lot of people too that just like to keep their finances separate from their spouse. Or if you're suffering with student loans, this is another thing. Student loan debt is a huge burden for most filers. And sometimes if you're married filing jointly, your spouse's income will be included when they're assessing how much you would be owing on your student loan per month.
Okay.
So a lot of times we'll ask if we have two spouses that only one has the student loans, it might be in their best interest to file separately so that the spouse with the student loan has a lower payment.
Oh, interesting.
So it's all strategies, guys. And this is why it's important to work with a CPA or a professional who understands this. Yeah. And they can get you in the right position.
Yeah. We've also been talking with the guy. His name is Dan. We call him Dan the Tax Man. I also call him Gandalf because he looks like Gandalf. And I don't know if he appreciates it, but I do tell him that.
He's the tax wizard.
He's the tax wizard.
That's it, literally.
Rachel, what does he do in his free time?
Okay. So he enjoys reading the IRS tax code for leisure. 88,000 pages. This man knows every code in
but we
the world
need
of
him.
taxes. But we need him. Exactly.
So we're investigating that stuff. Okay. We're checking it out, making sure it's legit. Okay. So let's look about this. How do tax brackets work? And actually, y'all, this is actually like a marketing email that came through to me. Cause like, you get connected with people. They put you on your email list, even though you don't tell them to put you on your email list or you opt into something. Business owners, be cautious about the can spam acts. Okay. Just make sure that you ain't spamming your people, because that could really mess up. Luckily, that's never happened for us, because but that's
No,
important.
no, it is. And there's actually scammers out there who are going after businesses and claiming that you are violating these anti-spam.
Really? Dude, the
Uh-huh.
phishing emails are crazy nowadays. They look so legit.
Yeah.
Like I get why like seniors and elders, they get confused. You see, I got a scammer that looked like a Wells Fargo header and everything. Hey, click this link here for your recent statement for this month, Always look at the subject line and don't pay a bill if you don't know what it is. Okay, my people, just a little
Or
PSA.
the email address that it was sent from.
Yes.
And sometimes at the very bottom of the emails, in very, very, very tiny writing, it'll say this is a marketing or an advertising email.
Yep.
But most people don't read that or go to the bottom.
Yeah.
So,
So I've been bringing it up with our internal team every single week when we meet. I'm like, guys, are you being careful? All right. Anywho's, how do tax brackets work? Okay. The IRS sets inflation-adjusted tax brackets annually. Your marginal tax rate is based on the bracket into which your taxable income falls. However, your tax liability isn't simply your income multiplied by your marginal rate. Your effective tax rate, which is the rate you actually pay, factors in all of the progressive tax brackets you fall under and any tax credits you claim. I actually did an investment specifically just for tax credits because I learned about them last year. This effective rate is generally lower than your marginal tax rate. Here's an example with 2025 tax year figures to show how it works. Alicia is a single filer with $75,000 in taxable income. Her marginal tax rate is 22%. So let's fact check that, right? So if she makes 75 grand, that puts her right here, 22%. Okay, I'm understanding how you got that. Her marginal tax rate is 22% because she falls into the bracket for the highest portion of her income. However, her effective tax rate will be lower after calculating taxes for each portion of her income. Here's how it looks. 10% tax bracket. Okay, so up to here is that. 12%. So the 48 and the minus the 11 times 12 equals this. Her 22% minus this equals this. So her total tax liability is this. See, that's the shit that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm still a student of taxes.
this is why you need a CPA.
I'm like, wait, what?
Tax planners.
Does this make sense to you, or do you lean on your CPAs too?
Yes, I lean on. I understand it, but I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just hand my numbers over to my CPA, and they do their magic.
Yeah. So to me, it seems like, okay, because I'm 75,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if no, I ain't going to do the math.
So do you understand where it's coming though?
I do.
0 to 11. That's what that tax bracket
Yes.
is, right? Mm-hmm.
And then because she made 75, so then she pays the total tax here at the times the 12%. So they took this minus that times the 12.
And that's what her tax would be on that amount.
Yep. And then the 75. So it makes sense, but why is it so tedious like this?
They want it confusing.
They want it confusing?
Yeah, exactly. This is why there are professionals that do this.
What is 75,000 times, she's at a 22% times 0.22. That's 16.5. Okay, so it kind of it's in our benefit that it works like this. I think that's an accurate statement.
Well, I mean, our tax
because 16.5 is a higher number than the 11,414. You see what I'm saying?
Again, this is all goes back to one. When you're a W-2 employee, you are already liable for this tax liability.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that even if you set up a business, an LLC, something on the side, that actually creates better tax advantages for you because you're able to offset expenses and certain deductions that you wouldn't necessarily get as a W-2 employee.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that's what you have to take into consideration when you understand your income.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. because we all know how to go, and that's, and I can be guilty of this. You know, I talk a lot about how to go make our money, how to keep the money, but even deeper into keeping it. And y'all, what totally changed my life is that book, Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. He's Robert Kiyosaki's CPA. I think he's got a big company and they're even taking on like clients and stuff too. So that may be a good, I don't know, resource. I've never checked it out, but his book, Tax-Free Wealth, really opened my eyes even into how I invest, why I invest in certain things over other things. Yeah, sure, I could get more cash flow doing this, but when you put it to minus taxes I have to pay, it makes more sense to do this investment because it's all about how much money I'm keeping.
Yeah. So this is where we're talking about now planning, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you acquire assets, as you earn more income, the need for better advice is a requirement.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to find yourself paying way more taxes than you need to.
Yeah. Yeah. So you also talk, okay. Before I pivot the conversation, anything else on taxes right now?
I think the biggest thing is if you guys are out there and you're not happy with your CPA, you're not happy with the tax liability that you are showing that you're going to need to pay, get a hold of us. Let us refer you over to some of our team members, the people we work with, because we do trust them. We know that they're doing us right. So we definitely want to share those resources with you.
Yeah. Okay. Also, another thing on my brain, because haha, ADD brain. Did anybody get fooled into an April's Fool joke yesterday? I'm just curious. I didn't. Did you?
Mm-mm.
No. The lady at Publix reminded me. Here's a sob story. I woke up yesterday and I was like, shit, I forgot to go to Publix and we have no coffee beans. Waking up without coffee in this household is totally unacceptable.
That was your April Fool's joke.
That was my April Fool's joke. Okay, so hey, so let's talk about this because it goes into taxes too. This is why people have LLCs, why they have S corporations, why they have C corporations, whatever entity is best for you, what you are trying to accomplish, whether you are running a business or having it to have it for some tax purposes, because the whole reason of having a business, correct me if I'm wrong, again, I am not a CPA, I'm not a tax advisor, I am not a financial advisor. I teach the infinite banking concept and I'm a life insurance agent. That's what I do, and I'm a real estate investor, okay? So I cannot sit here and tell you this as the God's honest truth, okay? You need to go do your own due diligence, okay? Always, 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 always. Now, shit, after I said that disclaimer, I forgot where I was going with that about
LLCs, S corporations.
Yes. If I have an LLC or an S corporation, you know, the intent of having that business is quote unquote the intent to make money, right? And so even though I'm not making money, I could be doing stuff for this business, and it could be literally anything, right? You can have a business for literally anything, right?
Coaching.
Yep.
eBay sales.
A yoga teacher.
Sure. Health and wellness coach. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can have a little side business for, but it's all about your structure, your entity. Most people are doing things sole proprietor or on their own, but it's coming down to their liability, right?
Yep.
Their responsibility. And sole proprietors, you don't really get the tax write-offs or the expenses deductions that you would when you set up an appropriate entity.
Yeah. Even myself, you know, for fun at these music festivals, and I've gotten paid gigs from it before. I hula hoop. Okay. I love it. I hula dance. Hula hooping dancing. They go on fire, y'all. There's fireworks on these hula hoops. It's cool.
Now you're an entertainer.
I'm an entertainer.
That's it.
That's a business.
Sure is.
And we have those businesses because, so there's expenses for my business. I can write this off. I can deduct this. Hey, question though, what's the difference between a deduction and a write-off? Are they the same thing?
More or less. Yeah, it falls in similar categories.
Okay. I'll do more research on that later. So that's why we have those entities. And then where you come in is that you can get business funding for things.
That's correct. Absolutely. So most of us go out and we open up an LLC, we set up a business account, we get our EIN number, but at the end of the day, it's still connected to us personally. We're still personally liable, or the guarantor. So there's different ways of restructuring your business and also building a corporate credit profile aside from your personal that you can start leveraging your business for, like she said, business funding. And depending on the type of business you have, there's a lot of ways to get all kinds of different funding to build that business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of using your own money, we don't want to invest our own money into possibilities of things not working out, right? So we use OPM.
OPM, other people's money.
That's it. But you have to be disciplined with that.
Yeah.
And the goal is to use that to make money.
Yep.
Right. But using entities, using structures, again, it's all in the planning.
Yeah.
You don't want the personal liability, but you want to be able to leverage it so that you can build a financial foundation.
And it's just like with the insurance companies. That's OPM, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you take a policy loan, when you take a loan from your policy, you are not withdrawing your money. You're putting the death benefit up for collateral, and you're borrowing from the general funds of the insurance company. I'm using their money. That's OPM. So now, being an investor, hey, insurance company, I'll pay you 5% simple annual interest, because as a lender, I'll go out and lend the money and make no less than 12% on the money.
That's it.
So it's all about the spread and the arbitrage. And as Robert Kiyosaki always says, he also says, I was going to say beg, borrow, die. That's not right. He says, y'all chime in. It's borrow something, die. Borrow something, die. What's that one word I'm missing, Robert Kiyosaki?
Let's see if I can find it.
But he also says that debt is tax-free money.
Yep.
Debt is tax-free money. And that's why we like the good debt, right? There's good debt and there's bad debt. Okay. I did a podcast episode on good debt versus bad debt about a year ago. Okay. But it's on the YouTube channel. And we just need to understand leverage and how to use good debt. But at the end of the day, it is all about discipline. Mm-hmm. You got to be honest with yourself. I don't know if we should talk about the story like yesterday with the couple that bought the franchise and then went bankrupt. What do you think they could have done different? Okay. Somebody, husband, wife bought a franchise. Basically, they were being led by the franchise people, franchisees. Okay, I'm not in the franchise world. I don't know. But right, they bought a franchise, and the numbers that they told them of this business was inaccurate, and so they literally are almost bankrupt. But they're not bankrupt. They there's some hope there. Okay, they have money in qualified accounts, and like they need that money right now to get themselves out of the situation. But my question to you is, what do you think they could have done differently to not find themselves in that position? Or is because the guy lied?
I think it was a number of variables there. I think probably they didn't. Yeah. The business wasn't set up correctly. They were pulling out money using OPM, but they didn't have the money to pay it back. Yeah. So then, and when they sold their franchise business, they got stuck with the debt. Yes. It all landed on them personally. Yeah. So now they're personally liable to a business debt that is no longer in business. Yeah. So that's a rough place to be in, but I think many people have been in this position before. So it's about making smart decisions, but also, again, doing your research on any business that you're getting into. It is a risk. Yeah. And if you don't know what you're doing, then the chances of failure are very high. And unfortunately, that's what they're dealing with now. But there are solutions, lots of solutions. You can start over, I think that's what we're working on with them now, just figuring that direction to get them out of this situation.
Speaking about this, like Dexter says, request tax transcripts from the business, from the IRS. I learned that the hard way. You know what it is, Dexter? No one's got this shit figured out. Are you kidding me? It's all live and learn, And that's why like the best mentors are the ones who have been there, been through the thick of it, who got themselves into a situation and then got themselves out of it because they're like, okay, I know what I did wrong. Okay. And we're not going to make that mistake again. And here's what I've been saying too recently, that when something negative is going on in life, I think of two things. Number one, what is God trying to teach me right now? I always think about that. I literally meditate on it. I sit on it and I just think, okay, what am I trying to be taught right now? What am I trying to learn? And then number two, you can't enjoy the highs of life without the lows. So we're gonna have it ain't no upward stream battle, right? It's a woo type of thing with life, right?
Yeah, well, that's about learning too. Learn from your mistakes. Don't make them again.
Yeah.
And try to help others not make those mistakes.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, business. And you, my friend, hey, y'all, if you guys want to get in contact with Rachael, here's her email. It's rkatz, Katz, at themoneymultiplier.com. You can get in contact with her directly there because you can help with business funding. You're happy to sit down and have that conversation.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. It's about education, guys. We all started somewhere. I didn't know this going into it. I learned it from my mentors and helped me position myself and make the best decisions and not pay a lot of taxes.
Yeah, straight up. Hey, okay, so I'm gonna bring up a question that was asked to me today. So somebody's chiming in. Good morning, Chris. We were chit-chatting this morning. Oops, I told you I wasn't going to call you out. I totally just called you out right now. It's okay. So anyways, he needs to fix his credit. You are also in the world of credit repair.
Credit restoration. Yes, those are the services we offer. How credit repair, credit restoration works is we use codes from the Fair Credit Report Agency Act. This is with the credit bureaus that we can go in and pretty much dispute anything that you choose on your credit report. And the bureaus are required to remove what you've disputed in a certain amount of time. And that's what we do. We go in there and put on those specific letters for what people are trying to accomplish. And that's the thing. If you got blemishes on your credit, you have late payments, collections, old debts, whatever, those can all be removed from your report. Most people don't realize that, or they try to do it on their own. And it's just because they don't send in the right letters. Why are you laughing?
It's kind of like when I was a young, terrible teenager and I got put on in Kansas City, they have this program called diversion, and you can get that diversion expunged from your record. So it's basically you getting expunged from your record.
That's how I think
More
about
or less,
it. Yes. Well, and I think what people don't realize too is most people have found themselves in a bad credit situation or a debt situation, maybe at some point, maybe not you.
Yeah.
Luckily you had great parents that kind of helped prevent that from happening, but I wasn't lucky enough. I mean, I didn't have good credit until I was 35 years old. Yeah. And that was a while ago.
No, that was like a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. Just 1 year ago. Thank you. But no, seriously, I had to do all kinds of different things because I had no credit. And as a single mom, how can you rent a place to live? How can you buy a car? How can you do anything without your credit? Yeah. I had to be very creative. In fact, when I was going to rent properties, this is just one example, I would create a renter's package is what I called it. And it had references of people that I lived at their home. It had my bank statements. It had a lot of stuff just proving that I was going to be a good tenant. Right? I didn't have good credit. And I was very honest. You're going to run my credit and it's going to be terrible. Like it's not going to be good. Yeah. I had bad student loans. I had bad credit cards from when I was 21 years old. Yeah. Right? But I didn't know that you could go in and actually clean up your credit until I used this service for for myself when I was about 10 years ago. Wow. And now I talk about it. Yeah. I help other people fix that.
Because it helped your life.
It helped my life. Exactly.
And that's why you're passionate about it.
Absolutely. And what's great about our process too, and we can get results in 7 to 21 days. So people are seeing results, improve credits in less than 30 days so that they can re-leverage, right? When we go in and it's not necessarily we're eliminating the debt that's on there or if there's, a liability, but we're just removing it from the credit, disputing it, making sure that it's actually that borrower's debt, right? It's called verification. But at the end of the day, the biggest point is to be able to re-leverage the credit. Yeah. Period. Yep. And because it's important. It's important to have good credit. Unfortunately, it's required.
Dude, and then I don't want to go there today because I don't know much about it, but then going down that whole process of like, I've met a few clients that are like, They're not foreign nationals. Foreign nationals is more of the life insurance lingo,
Okay.
where they literally take themselves off the tax code or like remove their social security number. Have you heard about all that?
You mean like people come, not explain me a little bit more what you're referring to.
Well, okay, we'll talk about it. It's we were just texting about it, me and this one guy. Hold on.
Okay.
It's called, I have it written down on my notebook over there. Okay, we'll talk about it another time.
Another episode, but
Hey, okay, so to credit. He goes, I need to fix my credit. He had it at 750, and then he was in a bad car accident. He couldn't work. And then he essentially ran up credit cards, probably missed
medical
payments,
bills, things of that nature.
Medical bills, and now it's at a 630.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have a very easy process. We take a look at all three of the bureaus. We look at what items on there are negatively affecting the credit score, and then we submit the appropriate letters to have those taken off for each bureau.
Could they ever deny it?
It's not a denial. It would be more of they take it off the credit and then the debt was verified.
Okay.
And it could pop back on the credit report. We see that it often doesn't happen for months, if not years, or at all. It just depends on what is the item. So for example, if you have old credit card debt or collections from like years ago, each state in our country has what's called statute of limitations.
Okay.
It's the number of years that a debt collector can collect on that debt legally. After the statute of limitations is exhausted, it's not really collectible unless you agree that the debt is yours with the collection agencies and set up some type of payment plan to resolve. Okay. And that's another thing, guys. You know, if you are trying to negotiate bad debt, you're not going to be able to negotiate with those lenders until the debt is already in like a default or collection situation.
Yeah.
You're just paying the minimum payments on your report. It's just showing positive, right? You're making your payment on time, but you're not tackling any debt.
Yeah.
You're just wasting money.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't moving the needle, essentially. That's a good one-liner. Hey, how when I'm making a transaction or spending my money, how is this going to move the needle? Whether it be in my money life or whether it be in my, let's say I want to go buy a new shirt. Is this going to move the needle and elevate my style and like how I want to present myself? You see what I'm saying? You know, is it going, because that was my word for 2026. It is my word for 2026. Intentional. How can I be more intentional with my time, my thoughts, the foods I put in my body, who I'm talking to, who I'm spending the time with, because right, everything's about frequency, everything's about energy. We're little hippie girls over here. But just being intentional with any transaction that I make, is this going to move the needle? I mean, obviously we got to go buy groceries, go put gas in the cars, and
it's
gas
discipline.
Prices. LOL.
Let's not talk about that. I'm from Los Angeles.
Dexter, what's your gas prices right now? Dexter's down in
San Diego. Probably around what we have in LA, so we won't.
Is it $7 now out there, or what?
In some, it's 7 to 8.
I'm so glad I was in my van in January and not now.
No kidding.
Now for the next few months, I have to go fly places. Dexter says
$6.
$6. Ugh.
Yep, that's probably the average.
Yeah. But we were talking last night at dinner. You said you've seen this before.
Oh yeah, we've seen high gas prices before. Maybe not up to this level. Almost 7. See,
almost 7.
Yeah, but we've definitely seen an influx in gas prices in the past.
And now my brain always goes to like, oh my gosh, like the trucking industry and like how's that going to affect it? And I remember too, why was that again? I don't remember. There was all of those truckers that got laid off, and I know there was a whole thing like up in Canada where they were protesting and they froze the truckers' bank accounts. I think that was Canada, or was that the States in Michigan? No, I think it was Canada. But anyways, do you remember hearing about that? Like a whole bunch of truckers got laid off?
Yeah, it was probably like right after COVID or during COVID.
Okay.
And all those. But again, that's the whole thing. There's a lot of people getting laid off. A lot of businesses are closing doors and changing things. Just pump and go. This is.
I'm putting that up next, sir. You have to be on the live to see it. I ain't going to repeat it for all my audio and past listeners. Okay, so you're funny, Dexter. Okay.
Oh, but just to help your friend going back with the credit repair, yes, we can do a consultation. He is 750 to 630. We're going to just figure out exactly what the issues are, and boost that score.
Hey, so my guy, you know exactly who I'm talking to right now. Text me or send Rachel an email, okay? rcats@themoneymultiplier.com. Okay, so that was one question. I think that was his question that he had. Y'all, you guys can always write in questions to me before the webinar here that we do every week. All right. Money Mornings with Hannah is every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can always catch the replays, as I mentioned, on the YouTube channel or even the podcast show, wherever you stream your podcasts. So write into me if you would like, and I can always answer those questions live. All right, before we close out here, because I do have a hard stop, I have a phone call starting in just a little bit. Hey, while I asked Rachel this last question, just FYI, I'm really trying to convince Rachel to move to Florida. She's in LA, and I think now she can leave her house in LA because your kids will start taking over those payments. Leave them there. They pay that mortgage over there. Come over here because I know you like it over here.
I do.
She wants to be on the beach. I've been giving her some suggestions, but if you love a beach town, she wants the east side of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
If you know of areas that you think Rachel would love, she's looking for like a condo or something like that. Put it in the chat box of where you think would be a great place for Rachel, kind of some towns to look at. Okay.
Love it.
Before I let you go, do you want to get into let's save fiat currency for another episode and get into that and like money control, because just high level, that's why we kind of implement the infinite banking concept, is to have control. But then a question always asked is, oh, well, what if we go to digital currency and what's going to happen to the policies and blah, blah, blah. And I've shared my thoughts before. We're not going to get into that. But you have been really teaching me a lot about tokenization.
Yes.
Can you explain? Tokenization is something most people don't understand. What is it in simple terms?
It's really about putting value on a real asset that can then be used as a form of currency or another means of exchange. So you talk about fiat, that's cash, right? But look at, we have cryptocurrencies, we have diamonds, you have precious metals, there's life insurance policies, right? These are all assets that can be leveraged, right? So, and I think tokenization, it is something very new, but I actually been down here in a meeting this last week in Miami because we were speaking with a group that is tokenizing diamonds out of Dubai, and in Switzerland. So in Austria, actually, that's the other area. But this is something new to me as well, but I'm jumping right in, getting my feet wet, just because it's important to understand where we're going. Because if you don't think the financial picture, the whole thing is evolving, you're going to be wrong. Yeah, very wrong. In fact, it's happening, and it's been happening while we've been sleeping. Yeah. And we're going to see a big change very, very soon. If you've been following anything about Panama City, people are doing that. Anything in the crypto world, anything in the new, financial network, quantum financial network. This is definitely the future of currency and money and assets. So I look forward to us talking a little bit more about that. In fact, maybe you'll bring in one of the guests that I've been getting mentored with, who's extremely knowledgeable in this sector.
Yeah. So, it's just so new, right? And that's why I like you a lot, is because you, as Nelson always says, never hit the arrival syndrome. Always be a sponge, listen, just hear what people are saying, learn about it, see what's going on. I mean, honestly, even though that's why I don't pay for cable. I don't watch the news. I think the news is negative. I think it's fake news. Oh my God, we're going to end on a quote. Thank you, Hannah, for remembering this, because I did want to bring this up on the show. Something that my aunt sent me. I don't pay for cable because I think it's negative. Do I really know it's true? I don't know, but I want to see the headlines. I want to see what people are talking about and just seeing, and I'll see it for like 4 or 5 minutes and I'll turn it off. Right. So you just got to be in the know.
Yes.
Because another quote from R. Nelson Nash, if you know what's going on, you'll know what to do. And it is, I mean, coming from a 26-year-old perspective, that is going to be the future. And if I don't learn about it or just even know what's going on or anything, then I'm going to miss the bus, or I'm going to be like caught in like the freaking chaos, if you will. Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the responsibility of being a money mentor, is that it's not just about one thing, because there's not a one size fits all solution for everybody. There's alternative assets, there's different needs. So the more that we are out there researching it, the better we'll be as educators, as coaches, as mentors.
It's true.
Right. I mean, I want to try everything myself, but I'm not going to be into everything. But I'm going to go and focus and learn about the things that interest me first and that I have a passion for. Because then I'll feel more comfortable putting money there.
Yeah.
Because I know what's going on. I know what questions to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, y'all, we're going to end it on this. If there's no other questions, chime it in. And reminder, too, on my personal Facebook page, I'm sorry, y'all, I can't see those comments. I'm going to fix StreamYard in here soon, okay? I've just been busy. But I do see some of y'all, like Julie Weiss, good morning. Mr. Wesley's on. Good to see you, Wes. I see you over there. So after the show, I normally pop over there and I'm writing in my responses and comments to y'all if you ever ask me questions. I do want to say that I have some travel coming up. Pops and I, we're going to be speaking in Arizona. We'll be in Scottsdale, Arizona. It is a closed private mastermind, though, so I'm sorry I can't just invite people to the event, but we will be in town. Then we're heading over to Austin, Texas, and then we're going to be in Boulder, Colorado. So Colorado folks, hey, if you want to come in to this event, it's a one-day event, holler at me, send me an email. It's hannah@themoneymultiplier.com. I'll tell you about the Colorado event. And then after that, my best girlfriend is getting married, which is going to be so fun. And then I'm going to pop over to Los Angeles, California. Dexter, it would be nice to see you, okay, this year. When I'm up in LA, you're going to come to that event with me in LA.
I am.
Okay. So I'm continuing to travel the country, speak on stages. If you know of any stages that you think, hey, that this could be some valuable information for these people, holler at your girl. I love doing the podcast. I'm always looking for podcast guests if it aligns, webinars, and, we're doing some stuff over here. And I also got something else in the works we'll talk about later. But let's end it on this, okay? This was something my aunt sent me. A country run by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure diseases. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. A nation run by media will never know the truth. So as I always say, think for yourself and question, and just do well, be good, lead with a good heart. And until next week, we will catch y'all then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.